Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results.
So stressful when the world's on fire. Good God. I can't look at this, guys. Like, my strategy is you buy it and you hope that you got a good spot. Yeah, but we all think you're crazy. You don't fight this. No way. The markets are freaking out and you don't think that anything is wrong? Come back tomorrow and I'll lose it all. Should be fine.
Good morning, guys. Well, I am late. Holy crap. I thought I was like doing good today. And I come in and I'm like, oh, wait, I'm late. Okay, well, the numbers. US PPI month over month spot 5 versus an expected spot 3, and core PPI month over month spot 5 versus an expected spot 2.
Over month, prior was
that's not good.
Minus 0.1% from 0.
That's not good.
Core month over month revised down.
They're still kind of expecting it. So here's the problem.
From 0.2%.
The street expects
interest rate futures are dropping after the producer
the CPI number to be lighter than anticipated.
Rate cuts in September,
which I know is silly to say, but all of the whispers are that the analyst estimate is too high, and there's lots of reasons why, and we could go into that. But I think, but it's mostly because of the housing component, right? And it kind of looks to me like what you could see happen is a temporary decline in the housing component, but continued increases in the supercore components. And seeing the PPI
Treasury yields
up
jump
spot
up for the
5
PPI data as well
kind of suggests that that's what's happening. See, now the financial juice doesn't see it as a tradable beat in the data, which I find curious, because the year over year components were kind of mostly in line with what they anticipated. I don't know what's they have. How can you beat the monthly by spot 5, but the year over year be? Nah, it's only 2.4 versus 2.3. I think financial juice is being stupid here. That said, it is retracing quite a bit. Not sure what I think about this. Well, I think that I want to take it, that I would want to be short. But from where is the question? Meanwhile, let's go and check on GameStop. It's been kind of making me grumpy yesterday because I just see so much misinformation about it, but it is a big thing.
We have posted out the US PPI April reports on the feed for anyone interested.
Wow, interesting. Yeah, dude, it's 68.70 right now. Okay, so I think I understand a little bit more about what's going on over there. And so here's the thing. Is that before today, the highest the options went was like 34, right? And so basically
the highest
all of the call options
2-year yield highest since
that have been bought are in the money. So that's what's going on, is they want it to be as high above 34 by Friday's expiration as possible. That's what's going on. So I think this could do all sorts of crazy things before Friday. and kind of the issue, as I see it here on this, okay, so it is extending today, but that's an overnight trading. Well, actually, geez, when you look at the
10 minutes
the
away
volume,
now from 8:45 a.m. Eastern
there
time.
is more
No
volume
comments from
trading this
ECB's
in the
Schnabel
overnight
giving a
session than
speech
there
at a
was
conference
during
in Berlin.
yesterday's session. Wait, am I seeing that correctly? Almost. There's almost as much volume trading in the overnight session as there was during peak time yesterday morning. That's a little bonkers, man. That's a little bonkers. So maybe this is picking up interest in Steam and more people are coming in. But what I'm kind of concerned about is maybe today and tomorrow it keeps going up. And the concern would be that then you run out of money and it quickly comes back to like 20. But I think that's the thing. And another part is when I was looking at this yesterday, I was thinking, okay, like at the end of the day, I looked back at this and I said, okay, maybe this is a market maker puking or buying up because of all of the call options, and so they have to own the stock to be able to mess with that, right? Maybe that's what that is. But how do you square that away with the huge move overnight? Like, and now that's crazy. So, Uzi, when you say your brother's trying to unwind, how much does he actually have? It can't be that much that like you have to unwind it, you know? Like, is it really so much that he can't just dump it whenever he wants? Because when you use the word unwind, that's what I start thinking. It's like, oh my gosh, does this guy have like millions of dollars in GameStop? Like, 1 million shares, right? Well, I think that we should pull up Fidelity here. I mean, he's one of the few, the proud, and the lucky who's bought GameStop for the single minute it touched. Oh, that's right. That's right. Okay, so it's still a big loss for him then. I remember that story. Wait, how is he? Well, wait. When it was... There's been stock splits and stuff, hasn't there? No, how does that make sense? That would mean that he bought it at like 120. Whatever. Let's get rid of that one. Oh, I don't have the direct trade one. There we go. Okay, treasuries do look like they're retracing this. I don't know.
In 5 minutes time now at 8:45 a.m. Eastern time, we expect comments from ECB's Schnabel.
I don't know all of the details, but he's got his limits placed where he can come out of it green. Okay. I do remember when it was like he bought like the high of the day, and I was like, how do you do that? Oh my gosh. But like once I got into the where the options were all at and everything, like it made a lot more sense to me. Then it was like, like these guys, they've got to get ahead of this. Like as soon as what's his bucket said something, it was like we just got to puke this. We can't hold on. We just got to puke this. And so probably they did. But this overnight, I think is probably retail. Not hard to understand. He averaged it down. Oh, yeah. Okay. Jeez. Of course. So then the question is, did he learn his lesson, or will getting out of this with a profit just to teach him to do that again next time? Because the way that I typically see it go, that just teaches them to be degenerate again next time.
Italy's Economy Minister Giorgetti says the G7 Finance Ministers Summit next week will discuss the risks of global trade fragmentation after
he learned his lesson.
Tariffs against China.
Okay. Well, you know, so what's going on here in the treasuries, I think is a little funny. Because I remember saying, okay, well, Financial Juice, they're noting that the year-over-year numbers are still roughly in line, though. And maybe there's a possibility that this completely retraces, right? So now, it completely retraced, and I'm bewildered. Even though I said... that was a possibility. Like, what? You know what, though? I think it's because the market is probably still betting that the CPI is going to be low. Although, a question. Do they, like, update when they're going to release PPI and CPI every month or something? Like, because... normally CPI is first and PPI is second. And then it's switched around this time. Like, what's with that? And like, sometimes they've changed which day, like it's been on Fridays and stuff. I don't know what that's about. Always a fun investment. Well, so that's the other thing for sure, is that the overall market has been pretty quiet the past few weeks. Like, the volatility in the S&P 500 has just been non-existent. And so this GameStop kind of taking off has become, like, the only thing to pay attention to, you know? So, like, it's the only thing happening, rather, and so it gets all of the attention. I am kind of wondering, I don't know, it's not...
Comments from ECB's Schnabel.
So I remember that first Monday, and I was like ahead of it, right? This one, I kind of felt like I'm already behind when the Monday came along. And so looking here on like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you know, I just have a hard time seeing like that much more money coming in.
Just noting a reversal
but
of the US PPI moves here.
It did come in overnight.
Back to,
but I mean, that's the thing, is even though
it's completely erased
it's in the overnight session, there was like a lot of volume there. So
about 1%.
But that could be, you know, people playing this game right? They want this to go as far as possible for the closing price on Friday / opening price on Monday. So, I don't know. Because I'm kind of looking at it like, okay, how much further can this go? Right? Meanwhile, over here in the treasuries, I'm kind of looking at this like, should I go short this or should I just leave it alone? I think I'm going to leave it alone. I'm quite a bit more hesitant to trade right now for a couple of reasons. Let's come in and do our notes. I forgot to do our notes anyways. Okay, today was yesterday was the 13th rather. Okay, so we've got PPI hot, CPI tomorrow, meme stock craziness. Do we have anything else today? We do have some Fed speakers. Lots of Fed speakers. 52-week bill auction. Tuesday flows can be okay. And another thing I'm gonna note is we're starting to getting into later half of May when volatility declines, or let's say liquidity declines. So historically, I have had trouble trading in May. Historically, I've had trouble trading in May. So on top of that, I'm getting into heavier part of my weightlifting cycle. I tell you what, I've been like, my body is like soaking up all of the water. You can just see it in like my wrist and stuff. Yeah, you can't really see that. I don't have huge muscles or anything, but they're a lot bigger than they were like a week or two ago, because I think they're just soaking up all the water. So when that happens, my nervous system is like in super compensation mode, so which means that it's really twitchy, and that in the past has led me to taking too many trades, right? So, you know, those two things combined kind of have me taking less trades than usual. So I'm kind of feeling bad about it because the, you know, I haven't made my $50 for the month. And so, you know, or really, I want to make like $40 a month. You know, like the commissions came out or whatever. Not the commissions, the data fees came out of my account. And I'm like, oh, we need to make $40. Right? So... the treasury is still being a little slippery there. Like, maybe even they want to go up and play for highs. GameStop looks like it's calmed down a little bit. Still a lot of volume trading it, though. You made money on AMC. So this is gonna be weird because you're going to have all of these retail traders that are set to be millionaires depending on where it expires on Friday, right? Can they keep it up there? 4 days is a long time, I feel like, for something like that. Just luck. Yeah. See, I don't. The one of the things is, okay, what led to the run up? Like, why now specifically were they pumping it, essentially? I don't know. I'm not sure if I can ever know. It could just be some guys with a decent amount of money decided that was the time. But I don't know. It feels like too late now, Like now I'm just spectating it. I just want to spectate it. I don't want to get in it. Well, so Kitty started the thing yesterday, but what I'm asking is, okay, if we come back here to a daily chart. Okay, so Kitty came in. So let me put it this way. Kitty tweeted there because it had already done a bunch. Right? Basically, this move from 10 to 20 already got it on his radar. And that's why he was like, now I'm on the front of my seat, because he could see that it was like getting squeezed again. Because he continues to religiously follow it, I guess. Right? So, I mean, yes, him doing it kind of prompted it going the way that it did, but it would also probably continue going up. Like, I kind of wonder if he had not tweeted, I think that they would probably end the week below 35 still. By the way, you can see it that where yesterday they pumped it really high, and then the sellers made sure that it still closed below 35. That's why I'm like, if it closes above 35 today, that's significant because of the amount of options that are expiring in the money. And then every bit that it goes further, like, the bigger of a problem it is. So I'm hearing people say, like, clearinghouse problems now, but I don't know about that one. Like, we survived last time, and this isn't nearly as bad. Granted, if it continues to go up today and then it does the same thing tomorrow, oh. But this just reminds me, like, how frustrating it is, like, because everything that I'm seeing, the comments. So here's the comment that drives me crazy. Is all of these people in the comment sections, especially on TikTok, but on Reddit as well, that are like, how are they allowed to halt it and all of this sort of stuff? It just, I can't handle it. It makes me, it's so annoying to me. It's just, that's like the ADHD side of me, man, is getting in there like, guys, the people on the internet are saying something that's wrong. I can't handle it. It's an exchange rule. It goes up 13%. They halt it. It's the rules. It's not some scam or play or anything. Ugh. And then people make all of these assertions about things that are just like not, they have no clue. They're like, well, there's no way that retail traders could really be the cause of this, because they'd have to be putting up billions and billions of dollars. No. So first of all, yesterday's move, market cap wise, was like 3 billion, I think. Okay. And remember that orders have strong impact. So you would really only need to put like 500 million in to make it move the way that it did. And obviously, there's going to be other people involved. That doesn't mean that the retail traders didn't, like, start it. I think they did. Did they take the buy button away? I did not hear that. I'm certainly something to be on the lookout for. But that's where I'm kind of like, I mean, this isn't as bad as last time. So, like, the whole situation where Robinhood didn't have the money and everything, that would be kind of sad if they're in that position again. But why does the rule exist? Yes, I'll explain to you why. Because once upon a time in 2010, there was something called the flash crash, where the S&P 500 lost like 60% of its value in 20 minutes and then went back up to unchanged. And that really freaked a lot of people out. Like, that's not allowed to happen. That's not allowed to happen. And so they made all of these rules that required you to halt active trading if there was a decline of a certain amount. That was their solution. Now, it's a dumb solution. It's a dumb solution because it basically kills the liquidity and makes it so that, like, the problem, like that's the silly thing is, like, when you think about the flash crash, like, it recovered and it was fine faster than I think these things are when they're hitting the circuit breakers. So that's why they put it in there. And in fact, I even think that there was congressional rules about it.
Block
Wasn't
buy.
there? Well, we need to halt markets on large moves so people with the metric loads of money have a moment to catch their breath. No, the motivation behind it was they thought that by halting it for 10 minutes, that would reduce speculation and give people the opportunity to, like, get a hold of themselves. Not like to breathe but like, their assumption was, if that's happening, people are being stupid, and if we pause it for 10 minutes, then people will get a hold of themselves and realize how dumb it is. That was I think the thinking behind it, but it doesn't work out that way in practice, does it? doesn't work that way in practice. It was a bad solution to the problem, basically. So how would I solve it? Seth's crazy solution to this problem, okay? If there's move of a certain amount on indexes, then there's some sort of special plunge protection team that is required to come in and add liquidity to the market. That's what you got to do to solve it, to fix it, right? Is you've got to solve the liquidity disappearing problem. Isn't that market makers? Well, yes, but the market makers all run away in that situation. They all turn their robots off. So if somebody like the Federal Reserve came in and are like, okay, we're going to provide a ton of liquidity to S&P 500 futures. Hey, they would lose money. Maybe they would lose money. Maybe it wouldn't be a good idea, but it would fix the volatility, because that's the only way I know of to fix the volatility is add liquidity to the market. That, or
Effective Fed funds rate 5.33%.
just acknowledge the traders are going to trade and just let them do their thing. Roll over, yeah. There's Options expiration on Friday. That's why GameStop is pumping now. Is they want all of the options. So again,
ECB's Wunsch says high rates
Oh my
for
gosh,
longer
hold on
by
a
the
second.
Fed might lead to a slower pace of ECB rate cuts, saying the first 50 basis points of rate cuts close to a no-brainer.
my thinking is
Saying
really
we should
sporadic
proceed
for some
gradually,
reason at the
refrain from
moment,
committing to a
and
second rate cut in
News
July.
Squawk just started talking in my ear.
ECB bond holdings under PE
Before today, the highest options that were offered out were around 34.
12 spot
So if this closes above 34, that means that basically all of the call options expire in the money. That's why it's doing this. They want GameStop to close as high above 34 as possible on Friday.
In July.
Problem. There's 4 days until Friday. What if today, yes, we are higher, but what if today, as soon as the open comes, they're selling and it closes below 34 again, and then on Wednesday they push it further, then like the whole thing fizzles out, right? So I think that there's some real danger here. I kind of feel like this is a trap. It kind of, well, not like somebody's intentionally laying a trap or anything, but I kind of feel like that this is something that lures a bunch of retail traders in with like the what we want to say, the chaos, I don't even know what the word is, but you know, just they see all of this stuff going on and they want to get involved, right?
To 151 spot.
The drama. There you go. I think that's, yeah. So it's people get attracted by the drama and they buy in a situation that I think is kind of really tenuous about them being able to hold these prices. Just because they need to continue to have people to buy. And how many more people are there really actually out there to buy? I'm skeptical of that. I need to turn my clock back on. I just realized I don't have the cool big clock in the bottom right corner. Let's fix that. There we go. He did it. Biden unveils historic wave of tariffs on strategic Chinese imports, probably solar panels. He put all of this money into solar, and then they all just lost the money because the Chinese were undercutting them. So that's why he's putting tariffs on. By the way, what does that put today? Oh, it won't tell me yet. It won't tell me until it opens. That's okay. If so much attention is currently on GameStop, then what market or trades are the golden keys right now? I don't know if there are. I kind of think that you should see some activity here in the treasuries, but since coming back up here, it's turned pretty quiet. I don't know if there's really going to be more opportunity for us today in the treasuries. And I'm hesitant to trade for reasons unrelated to, you know, what I think it's going to do today. So yeah, there's a tariff on electric vehicles too. That would make sense. It's pretty funny to see the whole thing where like the electric cars became a thing, and now that it's a thing, like people don't want them. Like a few years ago, it was like everybody wanted an electric vehicle, but maybe they couldn't afford it. Now wasn't the time. Except now it's like nobody wants them. It's so weird.
OPEC Plus reopens the fraught debate on all members' oil output capacity.
Oh, I can pull up the cost basis, but I don't think that it would be very useful in this situation. Right. So we've crossed both levels and are kind of on the other side of it. This could be a situation where we start doing this. Right. But overall, I don't know if there's enough entrenched positions to be looking at this, because the whole thing is you don't necessarily want to have a ton of inventory going into this event, right? You want to be everything flat and then let the move happen and then start doing your market making. So maybe if I could reset the cost basis here, and then going forward, that might be able to tell us something. But otherwise, I think in this situation, the indicator is not telling you very much. Similarly, I'm not seeing a whole lot of movement in spreads. Maybe a little bit of flattening. The one that's interesting right now is oil. Look at oil. Is just like, I mean, it was up overnight, but oil is just getting hammered right now for some reason. They seems to me that they got hit from the PPI news and continued going down while the currencies and everything else kind of mean reverted and retraced it. So that's the most interesting thing in my opinion right now. That and GameStop, of course. Okay, treasuries are at highs.
Block buy.
Ooh, okay. Some pukes, huh? Gotta come back and look at the volume profile on that now. Did I even go through the assets here on volume profile? I don't think I did. Okay, so a little bit further up, like 109 even would probably be a spot where I would expect to see some resistance on like daily bars. So and since there was like already some pukes and big volume trading here at 30, I don't think that this would be a good
So
place
here,
for me
Fed's
to take
Cook
a trade
doesn't
unless
comment
I was
on
going
rate
to reverse
outlook
it.
in prepared remarks,
S&P 500, you
and
can
he also does not
see
comment on monetary policy or economic outlook in remarks prepared
back
for
to,
delivery to
you
community
know, where
development
it's been spending a
financial
lot of time
institution
lately.
event.
But here's oil, right? Okay, well, they're not getting below 77.8 or so. So maybe that's as far as oil can get. Gold and silver actually haven't moved that much on this. Copper? Ooh, copper looks so good after yesterday. Yesterday they moved, didn't they? Right? When we started yesterday, we were like down here and like, yeah, okay. Like, it's okay. We're just taking a breather. Whee! That's great. Okay. Japanese yen. Still kind of slowly pushing down. And the dollar still kind of fighting to hold 105. Bitcoin down a little bit. Look that. Okay. Where am I looking? Let's see here. AMC has broken $6 in the after hours. Okay, you know what actually... Here's what actually frustrates me about the GameStop thing. About the meme stock thing. Okay? It's been, what, 3 years now? So much money went into GameStop, and they didn't do jack squat with it. Like, they had this CEO, he had big plans, yada, yada, yada. They didn't execute on any of it. It kind of feels to me like this guy is a big talker and can't actually back it up with like actual real execution. It just flabbergasts me that you could see so much capital flow into a stock that is like on the rocks, you know, and it not result in any meaningful change in the company. And it still looks to me, holy crap, that is really... So when they were at 30, I thought, well, you don't want to mess with it when that much volume triggered off. You might see a move up later, but usually they will pause. But instead, they just kept moving. Now, am I seeing the dollar? Well, the dollar is getting killed here. So that it seems like the dollar getting killed here is moving some money into treasuries for some reason. I don't know about that one, because I'm still concerned about there possibly being some resistance at 109. I should note that there has been a reasonable degree of counterflow since that 30. It's still, cumulative delta is still rising, so you've definitely got like a large meta order long coming through, etc. But I'm starting to see some hints of an opposing meta order. But what if they just crash through here? Why might that be? Oh, I'm not sure. I suppose it could be them saying the PPI doesn't matter and the CPI is going to be light. I don't know. It's kind of a little weird. The analysis. Let's try coming over to some of our data sources. Okay, so let's read Zero Hedge's story. U.S. producer prices accelerating at fastest rate in 12 months. I'm going to try and read it with my news prompter voice, not like the super silly, but just like really trying to enunciate things for you so that you can hear what I am saying. Ahead of tomorrow's CPI, traders are eyeing this morning's producer prices for any hints that the disinflation trend will return or not. And the answer is not. April producer prices rose spot 5% month over month, with March's spot 2% month over month revised down to negative spot 1 month over month. The downward revision did not stop the year over year read, rising to 2.2. This is the highest year over year reading since April of 2023 and is the fourth hotter than expected headline PPI print. Producer prices have been aggressively downward revised for 4 of the last 7 months. Services costs soared, dominating April's PPI gains, with energy the second most important factor. Food prices actually declined on a month-over-month basis. On a year-over-year basis, headlines PPI's rise was dominated by services rising at their hottest since July 2023 for the first time since February 2023. None of the underlying factors were a negative on a year-over-year basis. After last month's farcical seasonally adjusted gasoline price, April saw the PPI gasoline index rise with actual prices at the pump, but still has a long way to go to catch up. Core PPI was worse, rising spot 5% month over month, which pushed core PPI year over year up to 2.4%. And finally, US PPI final demand, less food and energy and trade services, rose by spot 4% month over month and 3.1% year over year. Worse still, the pipeline for primary PPI is not good as intermediate demand is starting to accelerate. And really, Over the past month, higher prices have dominated lower prices in recent survey data. Then they got a bunch of numbers. I'm not going to read that. Do you see the inflation now, Jay? And they show a picture of the same picture that Raging Kitty posted, except for that they've put Powell's face on it. So no, the Fed does not have inflation under control, says Zero Hedge. And yet, the market bought that up crazy. Okay, well, it looks like they have chilled out for now. GameStop is still, they're still pushing this thing, man. Just wait until it opens, man. It's going to be nuts. I bet you. So here's my prediction for GameStop. It will be halted within the first minute. That's my prediction. They're going to buy it up. It'll go from like 70 to, let's see here. We need a 7% move, right? So it will go from like 70 to 71 and then they'll hold it. $6,000 hits a bit at even. You should always expect to see a decent amount trade at evens. Like if there's not an iceberg at evens of like at least 3,000 to 5,000, something's up. Like that's weird because there's almost always big liquidity sitting there. Yeah, only 6 traded at OT. I mean, that was almost certainly somewhat of a stop run, right? I don't think that probably thought it was just what I thought, that okay, there was a big iceberg at 30 and a big market order that came
US dollar
through
index
there and
falls
everything.
0.19%
That's
to
probably going to
104.98. Euro
pause
gaining
it for a little while.
0.3% to 1
And then when they
0.082.
immediately went for 109 even, they're like, oh crap, and puked it. The Japanese, you know what? I wonder. Oh, you know what? I feel dumb for not noticing this earlier. I think that there may have been Japanese yen intervention again. I think that the Japanese yen intervention would explain that behavior well. But with at least the way that they've been doing it lately, it's probably over now. So you might see the treasuries slowly but surely settle back down to the open. It's possible they go all the way back to the open at least. My main indicator for investing in AMC yesterday is the lack of Christianity in society and people's willingness to worship modern day demigods like Roaring Kitty. Okay. I don't know if that's going to be a very good... I mean, does that mean that the more godless we become, the more you buy? Because otherwise, that doesn't sound like a very historically profitable trading strategy. Got 10 minutes here. I'm not sure you could buy enough to match out godlessness. You're right. So let's, yeah, I don't know. This just kind of gets the gears turning for me for some reason. When I come back and I look at like a daily chart of the S&P 500, and I'm kind of like, okay, if PPI is good, like we can make new all-time highs, right? Like it starts to look a little crazy to me. It starts to look a little crazy to me. And you know, because this is some issues, because that has me thinking like, oh, okay, the market could rally in all summer off of that. That alone could just have the market rallying until we get a new narrative. Because if CPI is weak tomorrow, that is kind of like the final resolution of this whole saga that we've had this year, last 3 months, or something along those lines, right? So it would be time for us to pick up something new. But it kind of makes me nervous. Did I show the chart? It kind of makes me nervous when I look at that chart and I'm like, okay, so like if all of a sudden the chart looks like this, right? That starts to concern me, because there's a lot of things about the economy right now that don't look good, and it really seems like things are slowing down. Like if I'm concerned that if inflation continues to be a problem, that we'll be like falling into recession right as the election happens. So that CPI tomorrow ends up being super important. But it's just bonkers to me, because it's like, well, I should buy, if that's what it's going to do, I should buy some more stuff, right? But then you look at prices and valuations and everything, and it's like, I feel like Intel's the only, thing that looks like it's a good price. And that one may just continue to languish.
Block by.
Okay. You're excited to see what insanity happens with GME this morning at the opening bell. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. So, you know, I kind of ignored it at the time just because we were talking about other stuff. But earlier, Uzi was saying that, like, you know, it looks like that they're kind of want to pull off like another pandemic, like in 2020, sort of a thing. And I don't think that that's going to happen, but I definitely see where it's like any kind of virus going on anywhere whatsoever, like they're reporting on it now. So like it is kind of weird because those sorts of things are going on all the time and like usually nobody cares. And so the reason I mentioned that is because one of the stories that I'm just kind of seeing here as I'm browsing is raw milk fans plan to drink up as experts warn of high levels of H5N1 virus. Raw milk fans called warnings, quote, fear-mongering despite a 52% fatality rate in humans. 9 Texas cities wastewater tested positive for bird flu? Really? Well, okay, so yeah, this is why it goes the way that it does, right? Is that the reason that something like a coronavirus ends up being so devastating, let's say. Obviously, you know, it didn't like end society or anything, but they end up being pretty bad, right? And that's because you have a virus that was out in another animal, and then if there's just the right mutation and it makes the jump to a human, and then you have a problem, right? And so that doesn't happen all of the time, but like influenza, as we understand it, like that was a jump, one of those. And you can go back to like the biggest worldwide pandemics that you've seen going back in history, and you can see that they were like, you know, it was a virus jumped species, right? So bird flu is something that is around all the time, and they test chickens for it like obsessively, okay? Like and they do this in China too. That's why there's like all of this money goes into China for these sorts of things. They're constantly testing all of the animals for these sicknesses, right? So if you have bird flu, the first thing is like it's maybe makes poultry more expensive, right? But then you're concerned about it jumps species. And they have all sorts of testing and things like that to try and catch these early. Like they do a bunch of work to try and catch them early. So I wage you $100 bird flu is already everywhere, and everyone who's been sick in the last 6 months already has had it. If that was the case, it would be an absolutely devastating failure for that whole early detection system.
So looking out
but
to the
it's
market on
unlikely.
open imbalance.
I don't think that it's jumped
200,
species.
300 million
And-
now to the buy side.
You know, so now we're starting to get outside of what I know, but my understanding is that it's unlikely to jump species. But that's why, to me, it's curious that there's all these news headlines about it. Like, it would be worth talking about just because that's going to affect the cost of, you know, chicken. But everything that I'm seeing reported is they're concerned that it's going to jump into humans and be another worldwide pandemic and everything. But I also kind of think, well, who knows? It's Joe Biden. It's Joe Biden. So if he had an excuse, he probably would shut things down. I think he probably would shut things down. But I don't think that people's reactions to it would be the same this time around. Right? Because we all saw, I think that by and large, is there any polling on this? I think that by and large, most people believe that we overreacted to the pandemic. Like the big one would be we shouldn't have closed down schools, for instance. Right? So I could totally see something where, like, you have a pandemic and Joe Biden shuts everything down and then it makes things even worse for him. They're going to tell you bird flu kills 50% of the people that get it, and then in the end it will end up being, well, okay, so this milk thing, a 52% fatality rate that's probably true. Dude, like, if you get sick from raw milk, it makes you sick. Let me tell you. Yeah, they did. They sat and traded, like, at the soft spot for a bit, and then it got halted. I really thought that they were going to try and come out of the gate and pump it, but it didn't. The sellers won that one. Yeah, and no one will think about the fact that if a virus killed people that quickly, it diminishes. Yeah. So milk, that's not going to turn into a pandemic. But what it is you probably shouldn't drink raw milk. But there is this group of people out there that believe that pasteurizing milk destroys some of the most beneficial proteins in milk, and so they want to drink it raw despite the health risks. And so they're going to think that any kind of a warning like this is, like, overblown and whatnot. But I really don't think it is. I really think that, like, listen, maybe there are some benefits to drinking raw milk. I'd be super careful about it. Okay? Because a lot of people used to die from raw milk. That's why we have pasteurization. Water, yeah, I just drink water. I don't drink a whole lot of milk anymore. Milk is for babies. Did it last more than 1 minute? Oh, let me pull up the halts. Okay. Oh, nope. It was halted in the first 28 seconds. And then AMC was halted at 31:49. Oh, okay. So they came in and they just traded GameStop like crazy, and then they turned around and did it to AMC, huh? Well, let's pull up, I'll change Intel over here to AMC. Let me close that and need that. And see what we got here today. Show extended hours. Okay. So it was also a down. It was also a down bar. But then why did it get halted where it got halted? Oh, they unhalted it and they're immediately down again. Another bar. Well, this brings me back to, did they really turn off the buy button? Let's see what kind of news I can get out here. AMC completes $250 million stock sell during meme rally as shares jump 110%. My gosh, guys, how can you? Okay, the owners of the company are literally telling you that you shouldn't be buying this, right? The company themselves is selling into you on AMC. Might want to think about that one for a second if you're long that. Yeah, that's a lot of shares. That's a lot. Okay. So here's a meme, and it's got a picture of Chad Doge. Me, the previous bag holder, thanking the new members for having released me. And then over here, we've just got a regular Doge. Our new members in a few months. Why no moon? Your broker suspended selling GME? Wait. So you can be in it, but you can't sell it? Which broker is that? Well, they turned off the sell. How is that? That can't be. There's no way. There's no way that a... Oh, okay. They suspended shorting GME. Well, okay. That's maybe a little bit different. I was gonna say, like, man, if you're long and then they shut it off so that you're stuck in the position, there is no way that I would ever use that broker again. That would end a broker, I think. Like, it's one thing to prevent you from, like, getting in, like what they did with Robinhood first time around, right? Turning off the buy button and everything. Okay. So that people couldn't open up new positions, but preventing people from getting out of old positions? Holy crap. Okay, here's AMC going again. Good grief. That one is trading pretty furiously too. Oh, I like it. It does really feel like that they're just going back and forth. They're like, they do this one, and then they do this one, and then this one gets halted there. It just got halted. And then they go back over here. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. Why? Oh, these people are so stupid, guys. Here's somebody sold $30 calls yesterday. Oh my gosh. And then bought puts. Oh, he has bought some calls too. But it doesn't say how many. So maybe it was just a straddle. Day trading is gambling, so he is doing it maybe. I just can't imagine putting that much money on. Because that one alone could be hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars in losses, depending on what happens. But since he bought some as well. I'm not sure about that. I'd have to see a little bit more. Because these are just like buy, sell, and doesn't actually tell you. Maybe this is they bought, and then they bought puts and sold this. So maybe this was an exit. I don't know. It's a little unclear what he's doing in there. Still, I just see sell call. Like, that's dumb. If it works out, you're going to make a bundle, but if it doesn't work out, you're going to be financially ruined for the rest of your life. Okay, another down bar as it opens back up again, and it looks like they're already heading for close to a halt. They're holding for now, but look at that. By the way, ZN back to 30 now. Okay, all is right in the world. Did AMC? That's the headline that I saw, man. That was on Unusual Whales. So that's pretty insane if they sold that much and AMC is still up. They'll sell. No, probably not. So this was one of the things that was kind of weird to me yesterday and was bothering me yesterday with somebody else in the stream, was they were saying, well, like, you know, there's all of these people that are short and they're going to have to cover. Well, okay, yes, but it was like 27% short interest. Okay, when the meme mania happened the first time, it was like 160%, right? So too difficult for us to sort out. Move X is short covering and move Y was retail, you know. We just don't get enough insight into the flows to be able to see that. Real time, at least. After the fact, maybe you can. So let's see here. Where was it that I saw the AMC? Yes. Just because you were like, did that really happen? To just see, here's the story on CNBC. AMC completes $250 million stock sale during meme rally. Shares jump 110%. AMC raised $250 million of new equity capital, completing the sale Monday during the revived meme stock craze triggered by the return of Roaring Kitty. Oh, that's a good question. What about Trump Media? Let's scroll down here. DJT. That's been another one that has been kind of showing, like, how would you say? Stock squeezes. It didn't participate quite in the same way as yesterday, though. They came down quite a bit yesterday, and they didn't pump up overnight. And in fact, they're doing something different from AMC and GameStop. That is so much money, but it isn't though. I tell you what, numbers are so weird, man. You got to remember that. Well, so like let's come and look at AMC here real quick. So if we go to finance.yahoo.com and then I search for AMC, And then we come into the financials. Okay. So number in thousands. Okay. They made $4 billion last year. So raising 250 million in capital is actually not, you know, it's not like huge for the company, but it helps. It helps to have that much cash to play around with. Right. But what are they going to do with it? I don't know, man. It's with all of these meme stocks is it's been 3 years. What do you have to show for it? You had this huge infusion of cash before, and you didn't do squat with it. And now that it's been 3 years later, everybody still believes in it. I just can't imagine. Like as far as I'm concerned, GameStop is a zombie company now. Like, I would be surprised if they were still in business 5 years from now. I really would be. Like, I think that there's a place for a retail store around gaming, yada, yada, yada. But they would need to evolve, and they would probably need to improve their online business. What did they do? They made an NFT marketplace. Come on. Why this pump? Well, there is an options expiration on Friday. So I'm not exactly sure what really started it, but for some reason, the GameStop guys were able to get it to double from $10 to $20. And then after it hit $20, it caught Roaring Kitty's attention, and he tweeted about it. And when he tweeted about it, it put GameStop back on everybody's radar, and now it's a meme craze again. It isn't. That's the equivalent of 2 million hours or 3 to 4 lifetimes working at AMC for minimum. Well, yeah, because what you get paid is tiny amounts, but like in the larger scheme of things. Okay, like that's what I was saying. Like, I wish I could remember the name of this game. Wait, here. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Maybe this one will do it. You're running out of money fast. It's time to get a job, any job. Here's what you can do. Smash your kid's piggy bank. Get a payday loan. Okay. What is this? No, this is not the one. This is not the game. This is not the game. Let me find it. It was when it was like the government. I know, it was just this game that was like, you know, you were supposed to spend money. And then as you spent more and more money, you know, like other things became available to you, like $1 trillion coin. And so then you could just keep clicking, you know, and it get bigger and bigger and bigger. Like, you got to remember that it's exponential growth. So yes, for you to build up $1 million is a lot because you're starting with so little. But when you're raising funds from the public, and you've got thousands of people, tens of thousands of people, possibly hundreds of thousands of people investing into you. They don't have to invest very much before it's millions and hundreds of millions and billions of dollars. Okay. In the financial world, $1 trillion is a lot. Okay. Like the big firms like JP Morgan and Goldman Sachs probably have, you know, over $5 trillion under management at this point. Okay, that's big. Like $1 billion is actually drop in the bucket for a lot of these. And again, like, is AMC a big company? No, but they bring in $5 billion a year in revenue. That's not what they make, but that's like the total amount of money that they pull in. Are they pumping just for the memes? I mean, as far as I can tell, that's where it started. I don't know. There does not appear to be any fundamental catalyst for this. No. There's not some piece of good news that suddenly makes GameStop more viable. Yeah, I'd like to pull in $4 billion a year. Well, this is kind of the thing, right? Hey, how do they make so much money? They have the money to begin with, right? If you have money to invest, you can make a ton of money back out with that ton of money. But when you don't really have a whole lot, you know, and there's kind of like this line, there's certain amounts of assets, you know, owning a certain amount of assets where it starts to build up, and most people never get to that level. Like, there's the whole thing. Yeah, we complain about the Federal Reserve prints money and it's not fair, and these greedy capitalists, they have someone. You can print money. You can print money. You could go down to the bank right now and take out a loan, and that's printing money. That's literally how money is created, is when you go to the bank and get a loan. The only problem is you have to pay it back. They have certain lending standards. The bank has to be convinced that you will have the ability to pay it back. That's the only caveat on any of this. So if you are already a billionaire, what do you think are the chances are you being able to pay them back? Pretty good, right? Versus, you know, you have nothing to your name, then maybe they don't give you the loan. That's what makes it unfair. So like, if you want to make it unfair, how do you fix that? You can need to make it easier for everyday people to go and start a business that would actually be able to pay back the loan. But then we do all this stupid stuff and put all of these regulations and make it super difficult for them to do that. And so then everybody gets upset and says, well, what we need to do is we need to tax the greedy cat. Okay, cool. Give all of the money to the government. You're still not going to fix your problem where you can't start a business that will actually make you true wealth. Thank you. That was my rant for the day. I'm here every day, folks, every day. I still have an unhalted GME. Actually, I don't understand why it got halted here. I think it has something to do with, like, okay, like, what is an 8% decline from here, and then what is an 8% rise from here? It ends up being smaller. So they get stuck. Man, I tell you what, the treasury's really died out. After that stop run, it's just been sideways. A lot of sideways candles in ZN. Very curious. But that must just mean that they don't really want to trade this today, that they don't really care about the PPI. That's what it seems to me, at least. If you go to Wall Street Bets, like almost all of the posts are just people putting in ridiculous amounts of money. According to the Wall Street Journal, Walmart is firing hundreds of corporate jobs and asking most remote workers to return to offices, per the Wall Street Journal. Whoa, wait. Donald Trump warns that the Democrats want to use the bird flu to rig the 2024 elections? Is he really saying that? I mean, I knew that the bird flu headline was going around, but I didn't know that, like, Donald Trump was talking about it. I don't know. I don't know if I have too good of a track record on these sorts of things, because when the coronavirus first popped up, I thought nothing was going to happen. I thought it was just a big joke. Back when we were hearing the headlines about what was going on in China and Italy and stuff, right? Like, yeah. It's going to be like the end of the world, folks. And then it kind of was the end of the world, so... Not the end of the world. It was pretty bad. It was pretty bad. I'd say it was wrong on that one. I think so. I think that was probably my worst call. Not that it actually mattered to the because the market. Well, I don't know. There was kind of depends on which time frame you're talking about and all these sorts of things. Because we actually kind of played the reversal after the pandemic. Not too shabby. Well, I didn't see anything about that on the Trump outlets. Is this a fake video? I think this is fake. That's got to be fake. You just look at that. That looks computer generated. Like, why would he be in front of a flag? I don't know. This kind of looks like, where did this come from? This looks like fake. I don't know. Like, where is he at? He's making, like, does Donald Trump make pre-canned videos like this now? I don't think he does. And he looks like super orange. It just looks like a ChatGPT sort of thing. And I'm not seeing it anywhere else. I think this has got to be fake. And there are a ton of shadow banned views. Look at this. This is crazy. 26 comments on it, but then when you actually go in, there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 top level comments, and that's it. Yeah, somebody's shadow banned. Wow. maybe so I would think that if he was posting something like that out there, that it would be on his Truth Social, right? Let's see if I can find that. Well, he's been tweeting lately. That's weird. A bunch of his, when I scroll down too far, oh, they're just because they're pictures and they're taking time to load. Yeah, okay. This is fake. It's fake. It's got to be fake. That's sad if this has been posted for 3 hours and I'm the first person to point out that it's fake. Okay, whatever. I'm kind of wondering about the treasuries. They were kind of showing some signs that they were maybe falling back over, but they seem to be just stuck at 109. Oil did recover. And the Japanese yen is still okay. I do still think, I got to remember. I do think that or this like where did they even out at 25.5? I think that the move from 25.5 up must have been JPY intervention. Probably. Freak says new layout. Well, just for today because we're watching GameStop. It does look like, although they are halted again, it does look like they've kind of weathered the worst of the selling at least. People says it also says it looks fake as crap. Yeah, I'm gonna show you one more time. Let's watch the video, okay? It just seems fake to me.
The left-wing lunatics are trying very hard to bring back COVID lockdowns and mandates with all of their sudden fear-mongering about the new variants that are coming. Gee whiz, you know what else is coming? An election. They want to restart the COVID hysteria so they can justify more lockdowns, more censorship, more illegal drop boxes, more mail-in ballots,
his
and trillions
body
of
language and the way that he moves doesn't seem to match how he's talking. He's bumbling around too much. It's not.
But to every COVID tyrant who wants to take
computer
away our
generated
freedom,
to me.
hear these words: we will not comply. So don't even think about it. We will not shut down our schools. We will not accept your lockdowns. We will not abide by your mask mandates. And we will not tolerate your vaccine mandates. They rigged the 2020 election, and now they're trying to do the same thing all over again by rigging the most important election in the
Let's suppose it is real, then he needs a new freaking green screen and edit crew.
Trying to bring back COVID, but they will fail because we will not let it happen.
Oh, and then that's the bigger thing is like, where's that picture come from?
Authority to cut federal funding to any school, college, airline, or public transportation.
So this is posted on r/conservative 3 hours ago.
Fed's Powell says the US economy has been performing very well.
And it's not on any of his official outlets. It looks fake to me, and I'm surprised it's still there.
Powell says households are in good shape financially.
It's fake, and that's why. I wonder, because that seems like the sort of a thing like, okay, that's... I haven't seen
consumer spending and business investment is strong.
A video like that. Trying to trick people and so forth. Yet. I mean, and that's kind of like election interference. Like, that's the first instance I've seen. Like, I would think that would be a major story. So, just in case anybody tries to gaslight us.
Shortages in many
like, oh, everybody just, totally fell for this. Like, maybe some guy is like, oh, I made this fake video and posted it on Archlight, and everybody fell for it. No.
Picture looking at the US.
I was right there, at the very beginning, saying it was fake. It's here recorded on YouTube, so you can all see.
Is coming into better balance.
So don't try and gaslight me or anything later. I just look kind of.
The labor market is now about as tight as it was before the pandemic.
Oh, we should have Fed speakers now, by the way. Yeah, okay, Powell is speaking. The U.S. economy has a strong labor market. Economy is performing well. Consumer spending and business investment is strong. Okay, so we could be careful. It could move here.
Signs of gradual cooling in the labor market, with supply and demand getting into better balance.
No. Okay.
And Powell says inflation in the first quarter was notable for the lack of further progress.
Got caught on a lure there. Saw the offer was weak, so I hit it. They cleared it, and then 3K was slammed on top of it.
Powell says we did not expect a smooth road on inflation. We have to be patient and let policy do its work.
Okay. So I take one tick loss on that.
Powell says we expect continued GDP growth 2% or better. And I expect inflation will move back down.
We expect continued GDP growth of 2% or better.
And Fed's Powell says, but my confidence on that is not as high as it was before.
My confidence is not as high as it was before. Something about this seems kind of fishy, guys. Looks like GameStop is turning back down again.
ECB's Not says signs of Eurozone recovery is clearly there. And Not says the recovery is to accelerate in the second half.
Elon Musk posted a cartoon from Cyanide and Happiness where the guy is sitting in the chair interviewing somebody saying, "Tell me about yourself." And the guy says, "I'm dumb." And he says, "You're hired." And then it goes back out and they're getting hired at Reuters. So I don't know why he's making fun of Reuters today, but Okay. Oof. Okay, 2 ticks down. That's interesting. That's not what you want to see. I'm not hearing a comment from him either to be driving that. I'm just gonna kind of let it do its thing. Okay, here's GameStop going again. Seems, yeah. Those bids are not holding, so this does not look like a good place for me to trade. So I was kind of thinking about, well, something might happen here and maybe I could take a live trade. I don't think I'm taking a live trade now. I don't like the way that that's behaving at all. I'm not sure if I want to stay in this sim trade.
ECB's not says I'm increasingly confident inflation will converge to the target.
So there is still a ton of volume pouring into
And not says I'm not seeing
GameStop.
Oh no, I am seeing improvement in services.
The price
inflation.
movement is actually like reasonable now, so I don't know. So there's those 4Ks that aren't pulling, and then not putting up a bid at 31.5.
ECB's not
Perhaps
says
I
I'm
just
increasingly
didn't
confident inflation is headed
understand
to
the context in here well enough, because there was some, you know, shiftiness at 31.5 earlier. So maybe it was just like they got bought up a little bit, maybe because of Powell speaking, and they just fell back into the hole.
And ECB's not says there's a slow but gradual moderation in wage gains.
Then 31 goes offer really easily. So no thank you. No flat.
ECB's not says if we
How
manage
much
to
did that
continue
end
on
up
this
being?
on these tracks, then
250?
it will be appropriate to gradually remove some restrictions.
I mean, that's not bad, because when we win on these, we make like $1,000, but I didn't like that. I think that was too much. Did not like that.
US March durable orders at plus 0.9% on the previous 2.6%.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if that was
ECB's not
Powell
says
or
June
what.
may be a good opportunity for the first rate cut.
I'm still kind of eyeing the Japanese yen. They're kind of falling back down here. I don't know. I said earlier that I would expect them to be done now, right? Like, they'll just come in and do like one push and then be done. So
Fed's Powell says the PPI reading was actually quite mixed.
and there's another downtick. I'm not actually seeing a shift in cumulative delta, though. It's just like the offers are holding really strong and the bids aren't.
And Powell says, I wouldn't call the PPI reading hot.
Powell says I wouldn't call the PPI reading hot. Would not call the PPI reading hot, but sort of mixed, says Feds Powell. I mean, that should be a buy it, right?
Powell, when asked if inflation will prove more persistent, says the Fed doesn't know yet.
Asked what, so they're doing a Q&A right now. Huh?
Powell says firms still report labor shortages.
Can't wait for them to be canned. Who are you going to replace Powell with, though? Like, I kind of think, you know, similar. And then I'm like, yeah, but who would you replace him with?
Fed's Powell says restrictive policy may take longer than expected to do its work and bring inflation down.
Alligator, okay. He's not an American. Why do I think it's going to go up? Bank of Japan intervention.
Fed's
Powell is
the policy
speaking.
rate is restrictive.
He seems to be talking dovish. This is just not working.
Fed's Powell says, I don't think it's likely that the next move would be a rate hike.
Doesn't think the next move would be a rate hike. There certainly is a lot of activity on the DOM.
Fed's Powell says it's more likely that we would hold policy
I'm
rate where it is.
Surprised. A little surprised. The Japanese yen is kind of falling down with it. I don't know, guys. Well, that was my third attempt. I don't like it right now. This is exactly why I not take a live trade today. This is exactly the sort of thing that I would do.
Has been a bit of a puzzle.
So now that I've lost it 3 times, I should turn around and go short with a live order, right? Well, we do have a cost basis is kind of widened now. So you got a line all the way down at 26.5. I don't know. You see my last pour in there. Good thing it was all some orders.
Fed's Powell says lags between decline in market rates, and it's showing up are longer than we thought.
I'm not actually seeing the yield curve move. With the way this is going, it does kind of make me think that this is a dollar-driven move. Yeah, I mean, there's the dollar coming back there, for instance.
Powell says lags from current rents to CPI is longer than we thought. Fed's Powell says non-housing services inflation is the one that may take the longest. Fed's Powell says, I am confident we will get there, though.
Block sell.
Okay. That is really weird. Somebody is selling it. I mean, you are now starting to see the cumulative delta turn. It's not too bad, but there was the big word came out and they back up 2 ticks. Oh my gosh, sorry. Hope I'm not making you sleepy. They backed up 2 ticks, so that's
Taking a look at the Fear and Greed
something
Index,
there.
54 out of 100 equaling neutral, and the Crypto Fear and Greed Index, 66 out of 100 equaling greed. And looking at the VIX, currently up 1.18% at 13.75.
PPI to hot should be a sell. CPI tomorrow is maybe a buy. Bad speakers maybe a buy. PPY intervention maybe a buy. Yeah, I don't think I have enough to really have a strong opinion about which way it's going to go. Unless I really start to see strong flows long again, thinking that like it's Japanese yen intervention. But that's unlikely to happen at this point. So I'm not sure why I think that it was going to go up. I think that this is just me being, you know,
The US dollar gradually extends
itchy trigger
gains
finger.
versus the yen as Fed's Powell rules out rate hikes. Last up 0.2% at 156.48.
Getting buyers stuck. I don't know. And it kind of looks like new volume coming into the market, though. Alligator also seems to think that it doesn't quite fit. These Powell's being dovish here, and they're falling. It looks like after going sideways and actually trading for a little bit, that GameStop slipped back out the bottom side and got halted again. Good grief. Powell has 0 street cred. I don't know. The alligator says, indeed, guess it was mostly discounted. It's going to be something else. It's got to be like a completely different flow or something. Maybe it's just completely unrelated to what Powell was saying. Because if it was like Powell saying something, then I would expect to see like a bunch of market sell orders coming through. I mean, if it was him and they were selling, I'd expect to see market sell orders coming through and all this sort of stuff. But it was kind of like the offers just stayed at what they were the whole time. And then the bid was weak the whole time.
Kazakhstan's energy ministry says
So
it has
the
not
market
requested
makers
a higher level of
let
oil
it come
production
back.
for next year.
The market makers may be prone to want to let it come all the way back to 27 because you got the VWAP and the cost basis back at 27. So that could be going on.
ECB's Not says policy divergence could weaken the euro and feed prices. And Not says it's not evident that the Fed policy will have a meaningful impact on Eurozone inflation outlook.
Alligator, not sure they want to hold right now, surely
ECB's
later.
not says there's no commitment on rates beyond June, and it depends on the data.
Oh, what? There's a natalism subreddit
Fitch
now?
Ratings
That's funny. It's
saying
showing me that.
decelerating income growth will dampen US consumer spending in the second half of 2024.
Anti-natalism has got to be one of the most disturbing things I've seen on
House
Reddit.
says we've made real progress on inflation.
And I've seen, I remember like the space, whatever they call it, subreddit. So, okay, here's GameStop again. Oh my gosh. Oh, I thought for a second that they halted it again. No, it's okay.
So Fitch expects annual consumer spending growth of 1.9% in 2024, a modest slowdown from 2.2% in 2023.
Okay, it looks a little stuck. I'm not getting... Well, maybe I'm getting a little bit of it at 29.5. A little bit of that. Oh, we're going to pause here. GameStop. It's still trading, but it's just like stuck. It's just going sideways. Hmm. $38.86 at 29.5. See, that makes me want to trade it. Dude, I am on one today. I really need to not do anything. It was 48.87 on the other side too.
According to Interfax, Putin is to meet China's Xi on May 16th.
So here's something on Reddit. Haha, someone parked their Cybertruck at the coffee shop and every single person who comes in is talking about how dumb it looks and the guy is sitting there bumming. This is the best morning ever. Or fuming, sitting there fuming. This is the best morning ever. So when I went to a fitness convention last month, and you know, they have like all these booths for like the different supplements and clothing brands and whatnot.
Putin's aide says,
and there was like
Xi will discuss
4 booths
energy
there
issues.
with Cybertrucks. Like, oh, let's buy the Cybertruck. I'll use it to promote my business, and then it will be a tax write-off. You're gonna lose money on that. You're gonna lose more money on the car than you're gonna save in taxes. Buy a Cybertruck as a tax write-off, you're probably running a stupid business. Or you're probably not a very good business owner. In my opinion. I was told to sell covered calls to degenerates. Oh my gosh, this is the one I've been looking for. Holy crap. Knew that something was going to come out like this. He sold the covered calls and he's lost $300,000. What other vehicle would show off how cool and modern they are? How about, like, you just show that your business has something unique and interesting about it rather than, you know, this is the problem with the, so I've been going through, like, I'm in the market for new gym shorts. Should we go into this? I'm in the market for new gym shorts. So I'm like going around, you know, it seems to me, I have Lululemon shorts and those lasted me like 12 years or something like that. Dude, I've been doing Olympic weightlifting for a really long time. Okay. And you know, they lasted. They were really good, but I'm told that the quality has gone down, that as Lululemon has become like more mainstream, that the quality isn't there anymore. And you know, you're paying a lot for something that's like not super good, great quality. Okay. So like what I like to do is to go on Instagram and click on the ads. I think it's so much, you know what? Like, yes, they're tracking you, all of these. I think that that's what, like, people do that. They're like, oh, I don't want to click on the ads because, you know, reasons. Okay. But like the business, they are paying. So they pay and then somebody makes money when you click, especially like here on the YouTube. Like if it's on YouTube and there's an ad and I'm like anywhere even remotely interested in it, I'm going to click on it because that helps the creator, right? So when you start clicking on ads on Instagram, it knows what you're looking for. And all of this, so, you know, oh, look, there's some gym shorts. Okay, I'm going to click on that. And now all of the sudden, you're getting like 20, 30 different clothing brands trying to market to you, right? And you know what I've discovered? They're all the same. Like if I'm like doing a feature comparison of the shorts and everything, like the differences between them isn't a whole lot. So if you've got one of these companies and how are they doing well, assuming that they're actually like really profitable businesses and doing well, it's all just the ads are shown to enough people and they make money that way. There's nothing special about your product. There's nothing unique about your product. You're just using advertising to get a certain number of views until you get the sales. And so I go to this fitness convention and yeah, like I see that with all of those clothing brands. Like it's the same thing. It's all just like the brand and the advertising and that's it. Right. It's the old Amazon joke complaint like that was if you search for a toilet and buy a toilet, you only need one and you don't care about toilets at all, but then Amazon will only show you yes. But they way overcompensate. Yeah. The algorithms don't seem to understand, or it takes a while for them to understand that you're not interested in that anymore. TikTok does that same thing. It's like he's see one video. Hey, this one video was kind of interesting. Okay, But I'm not interested in that subject at all. Stop showing it to me. Okay? No, I don't want to watch the tankies on TikTok. Stop showing them to me. But that one is, I immediately scroll off of them. It insists on showing it to me. Insists on showing it to me. I'm kind of starting to feel like this market's playing with me. Like, when I said, okay, I'm being stupid and give up on it, it's reverted back to 30.5.
According to a source who has seen the draft document, a German
Could also be that just like the flows this time of year are a little bit different and I just don't have a very good reading on them. It's kind of weird because I felt like not even 2 weeks ago that I had a really, really good feel for the market. So. I don't know. In the world today, it seems like it's super hard and rare for you to provide something that's unique. What I provide is unique. Nobody else out there is talking about the stuff that we have on our YouTube channel.
Powell
And
says
that's really frustrating.
It would
That
take
it's like
longer to get inflation confidence.
you have it, and you're not.
And German economic advisors see growth of
Doesn't care.
0.9%
You know?
in 2025 in
That-
Germany.
How does that one work out? Would you buy? Oh no. I want nothing to do with it, man. Money will be made, money will be lost, and I'm just gonna sit on the sidelines and watch. You know, if I had some inkling that this was gonna happen and I had bought in at like 10 or something, that would have been great. Okay, but now, hell no. Well, I'll tell you why. Because the volatility in this stock is so high that anything that you're buying or selling really has to move in order for you to get paid out now at this point. So buying options isn't a very good deal. And selling options, you'll probably make money from selling options, but if you don't make money from selling options, that's probably the end of you. It's like that video, that image I was just showing you, all right? Sold calls and last $300,000 on it, right? No, thank you. No, thank you. So I think that you don't trade it. I think that the real opportunity is past, and that it's best to just watch it. Go and be crazy. Right? Like there's the drama, everybody's involved. That's not where I want to be. Right? That means there's like a little bit more money to be made, but you want to get out of that market now. The real money was already made. So what to do? Trade in other stocks? Yep. Trade the treasuries. Although I'm not, I think for me, I'm just not going to be trading this week. I don't think my body is in the right spot. It wants to, it's trigger happy. It's trigger happy, and I'm taking trades that don't make sense. Right? I just did that on Sim. They were all on Sim. You know, I was kind of testing things, the waters first a little bit, and the answer is nah. Don't. You don't have it. You're not in a good state to trade, so you just leave it alone unless you really sure which direction it's gonna go. Okay, like if we come out tomorrow and CPI is like spot 1%, then I'm buying these treasuries. Okay, I'm turning around and selling yields. Whatever price it's at, doesn't matter. I'm selling yields, right? But otherwise, I might just not do anything this week. As the whole thing is that when you get to the point where you feel like you have to do something, then you've already lost. the best trades are going to be the ones where nothing's going on. You have a theory about something that's going to happen. You get into it early, and then the thing happens. That's where the real money comes from. And then when all the drama starts happening and everybody's looking at it, you're taking your profits.
It's probably a matter of staying at the current policy rate for longer.
That's how you want to do it. I mean, there's a little bit of money that could have, like yesterday, you could have bought it at points and held it and taking profits this morning or something like that. But this is not one that I would be like getting in and holding for a week or something like that. I'm excited for the meme money lost style videos of the latest fiasco. Yeah, if you get a day like maybe tomorrow, if it was just sell all day, or maybe today if it was just sell all day, you're probably going to see a lot of lost porn. Sure. You stay away from these reasons. I have no idea what's going on and I don't want to be sucked in. Well, I think that there is some benefit in watching it and just not doing anything. I do find it frustrating to talk about because people just say so many stupid things. There's so much misinformation and stuff. Can't even Well, it is stuck at 30, so now it has kind of been like, yeah, sees that? There's no reason for it to be moving now after that. I don't know why we moved down after Powell's comments, but it may just be random. There was a interesting uptick, and now offers are no, maybe not. Still would be kind of. There's this little bit of liquidity here. We'll see if that holds or not. We're forming quite a few inside days on Xeon. Perhaps if we get a decent breakout with volume, we might go somewhere. Oh, for sure. Tomorrow could be like a big, huge trend day. Either way that it turns out. I think I'll be careful about it though, because I can remember so many times where I've been like, oh, this number is really important, and then the number comes out and it's like a huge surprise to us. There's an initial move that makes sense, and then it does something just batshit crazy that makes 0 sense at all, and that's the one that I trade and lose money on, right? So be careful tomorrow. I think it could be a trend day, but it could be a very easy get trapped in that stuff too. But I should trade it. I don't think that that's another thing is like if I do take it, I think I would want to be a little more like in and out instead of like trying to just hold it for like the trend day. Yeah, there was he already spoke. His comments seemed dovish, but that was when the market sold off from 109 even down to the 26 half area or so. Okay, there is some volume coming through here, though. If it was an 850. Long 31.5. Let's just track it. This pains me. I want to go long. I feel like something is happening again. That was a lot of volume. Those offers are just melting away. listen to the news from a biased trade the chart and exit too soon, or as you didn't listen to the news? No. Like what'll happen to me is it's like, okay, here's the number. It was like a huge miss. That should mean that the market moves up, and then like it does move up, but like not a whole lot. And you think, oh, it's going to go further, and then it just completely reverses and ends the day down. And you're like, what the hell? How is that possible? Makes no sense. That's used to do that on non-farms Friday a lot. It's kind of chilled out now, but I can remember some points last year where like I was just absolutely completely confused by the moves on non-farms Friday. They didn't seem to make sense based on the expectations and how people were positioned and everything else. It just, nothing made sense about it. There is definitely something pushing the Japanese yen up right now. So I might be, again, trigger happy. I'm kind of sitting here like, well, I don't think that we should see more JPY intervention, but there is the volume coming through and it's going with it and eyeing new highs. So yeah. And then you hold the trade because you have a theory about which way the flow should be that ends up being wrong for who knows why. And I mean, the issue is that they usually will fight you a little bit, right? Like, it's not going to be unusual to see a trade go against you a little bit at first, right? And you're trading in a period with more volatility and... But you have to have something that's predictive, right? The spikes 99% of the time we exit. Some spikes. Usually in the treasury you don't get spikes. Like that one that we had on the upside where we just blew through 109 even. That was probably Japanese yen's intervention. That's unusual. Usually you don't get spikes like that. Okay, well they settled back down again. I don't know. Copper's looking really great today, by the way. They're going to be $5 soon. I remember when it was $3. Okay, well, S&P 500, by the way, too, seems still pretty dead. I do think that the market is still waiting for CPI. The treasuries, there's something going on though. Like there is a lot of level 2 activity. So I think that we could continue to see some back and forth in the treasuries, but it doesn't seem to make any sense with any of the flows that I know of. So whether it's a buy or a sell or what it does, I don't know. I can just see that they're out there doing something. So I think it's time for us to go. Put in PPI surprises. I don't know. Like the numbers seemed hawkish to me, but the market is kind of saying it was nothing burger. Cool. It's cool. We're still on plan. Like I'm frustrated because like
benefit from strong pandemic response.
I'm getting ready to take a trade. You know, I want to be on there. It seems like I'm off. But I didn't lose anything. Like I'm still on plan and all of that, so it's okay. And we could get some opportunities tomorrow. So let's just see what happens. And then if it doesn't tomorrow, you know, we can just have a relaxing summer. Okay, guys, I will see you tomorrow. Stay excellent.